It's the most wonderful time of the year, and next week, Tuesday, will be one to remember. Also because there's a brand new edition. Speaking about the Soca Drome Village, Carnival Tuesday, the 4th of March at the GMPR Complex. Joining us this morning in studio to share a little bit more is none other than Val McKee-Mirage, creative lead for The Lost Tribe, and so much more.
Morning. How are you going?
You tired, boy, Val?
Oh gosh, you want to sing, you want to party, you want to DJ, and you want to run a morning show? Madness.
Everything.
I want to be like you when I grow up.
Listen, I feel like if I left the mass camp, went to the warehouse, and almost directly came here this morning.
Pretty
but
much.
that is the season. We were just talking about it.
Tis the season.
Put us have energy in it right now. Anyway, you're good, feeling nice, you know?
It does.
Speaking of which, how is Soca Drome looking this year?
It's looking good. It's presently under construction. It's being built, but it will be ready by this time next week, definitely.
Val McKee, we're speaking about now the Soca Drome Village. This is an energetic shift for what we know as the Soca Drome. What does it encompass?
So when the concept of the Soca Drome first started, it was, well, of course, designed as a space to help the route traffic issues that we had leading to the Savannah and the other judging stations, but also to have a space that people can go with their families and experience Carnival and experience Trinidadian culture in a different way. For the first couple of years that it existed, we had to, of course, move with the resources that we did have, and so we had the development and expansion of the show on the stage itself. This year, under the entire group being involved with the support of Carib GML, Digicel, the ministry, we have now expanded it into the village. So we're hoping to continue that where local artisans and businesses will be able to reach the masquerade public.
All right, tell me who we have in the village this year then?
So to be honest, there's a couple of different people across the board. Right now at Tribe's location at the Hyatt, we have a number of different vendors, some of whom are going to be in the village. All of them have not totally signed in terms of saying which location they're going to actually take just yet. So it's a combination of people that sell a variety of local products and crafts and bigger brands as well, as you'll be familiar with.
This is beautiful because this is now we're seeing this merging where we're going to boost this carnival economy even more. How long has this been in the works?
Honestly, I would say over 10 years. Because I remember our first conversation speaking about Soca Drome so long ago, that conversation happening on Charlotte Street waiting to cross the stage, that we were like, yeah, you know, imagine if you had time in front of a space to be able to go and purchase or even just interact in a way that you could purchase afterwards.
But this is not for the masqueraders, this is for the people, the consumers of Carnival. This is because I'm thinking of, you know, even in your group of bands where everybody is not coming with money to spend. Because
no, let me tell you how masqueraders is surprised every single time, right? I have seen masqueraders walk on the road and walk with bags playing mass, which generally from our side is not the rule of thumb. We design a masquerade experience for you to be able to walk with your two hands in the air and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
But I've seen people purchase things on the side of the road and carry it because sometimes they have family members that are watching the mass, that have a car park somewhere. So to be honest, it's an experiment for us as well this year to see what the consumption is. Carnival Monday and Tuesday, sometimes through generations, is assumed to be one thing and then turns out to be something totally different. So the buying patterns of individuals have changed over the years, and we're looking to see what that will be as well.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, you would have mentioned...
All these questions.
Too much questions.
We have so many questions to you. One of the things you would have mentioned is not everybody is like 100% on board yet. It's a working process as to where they're going to be located.
Yeah.
But what about the feedback from the artisans particularly? Are they open to this idea of this village?
Definitely open. I think the biggest challenge that any of us have as creatives in the industry is finding the time to be able to balance the work of the season into that sale on Monday and Tuesday itself. Like for myself, we have an expansion into a merch line and different things that we're selling and have been selling for the season. And I would love our product to be in the Monday and Tuesday village, but I don't have anybody to man it because by the time they reach Monday and Tuesday, they're tired. So I think it's a balance of that. Like we have many people who we're speaking to who are 100% interested and are working on those final details to see what else could be added to the show.
Most definitely. Now, one of the things that came up this weekend in conversation, and the news especially, was data for Carnival. You said that this is an experiment, but is it an experiment based on data that you do have?
So one of the things that I think we have been pretty good at in the conversation of being pretty bad at is we started our online registration process, and so years ago Tribe pioneered that, and it allowed us to have data and have access to the masquerade in a way to be able to create forms and sheets afterwards. We hope that through this year that we'll be able to hold a lot of different pieces of data, both from purchasing public, from masqueraders, and from those who participate themselves, and from the process moving forward towards it. But I 100% agree with you. Without information in front of you, there's no way that you could make real proper decisions moving into following year and into the future.
What is the ultimate goal for the Soca Drome Village?
So I think, all of us have been on the route as masqueraders, as children, as spectators, as functional people in different bands in different ways. And we have experienced the challenges of the route through the generations. One of those is the reality is people spend years developing products that they're going to present on the Savannah stage, on our different judging point stages, and you are relegated to a very small time slot. The only way to really, punctuate the space to allow more breathing room in that is to offer more route itself. And so I would say the main purpose of the Soca Drome is to allow the masquerade public more partying and parading time, to allow the viewing public more viewing time, and most importantly, to allow our marshals to be able to breathe a little bit in between, because there's be hard out there in the streets for them, it's difficult.
It is difficult because, everybody's ready to run on the stage, run back on.
At the same time,
and do everything
don't want to
in
leave.
between.
I was one of them.
Was you say?
I'll behave myself now.
So, of course, we know that Soca Drome is something that came about over the years. What challenges and what would you say, what were the biggest challenges you would have faced in implementing the Soca Drome? Did it take a while for masqueraders particularly to get accustomed to it?
So I think masquerader, one side, but more an overall cultural shift. We were born and grew into a carnival that had a particular structure. And like anything that's a cultural inclusion or a cultural injection, it takes time for there to be cultural education, basically, both internally and to the wider public itself. I wouldn't necessarily call any part of it a challenge, because I think from the first year it really helped, it worked, When the first year for Soca Drome, I remember there were some of our bands who did Soca Drome one day, Savannah stage one day. We experimented with a couple of different versions of it. But bands like Lost Tribe did both on both days, to the point that if we had to, for whatever reason, miss a stage, we actually ended up missing our own Soca Drome, you know. I would say that it really, I don't know, I can't say that there were challenges in terms of the masquerade public, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
a positive.
You mentioned if you had to miss a stage, you'd miss the Soca Drome stage, right?
Well,
Because
I
it's not one of the...
I said did. But
But is it because that is not an official judging point is why you would be willing to sacrifice it in that moment?
No, let me tell you why. Because when, and this is specifically the Lost Tribe conversation,
Right.
When we go to lunch, which is at Seagate Square, and then we leave to go to St. James en route to there, if there are other bands partying, the bands tend, generally speaking, bands tend to slow down after lunch.
Yeah.
The pump turns up, but the band slows down. And so there was one year, I remember, you remember this too, yeah, where we're going, and then all of a sudden we heard, yeah, boy, it was time for the stage to officially end because we have time restraints. And so we weren't, unfortunately, able to make it on that year. So I think it's because of the placement of the stage compared to our other judging stages here.
Is there an aspiration for the Soca Drome to become an official judging point on the NCC route?
So it's something we speak about every single year. There are pros and cons to it. For it becoming an official judging point, I think will be absolutely fantastic. It gives more space again for presentations to be presented. On the flip side, there's something really beautiful, I think, about the energy and culture of the stage being a party stage. I think it's inherently very different to what the judging stages are, and experiencing the both of them myself every single year, I really, really, really love it.
What about the patron experience? Because we see people come to the Soca Drome now to observe the mass, to observe the party. What has that been like? Has it grown over the years with the Soca Drome?
It's definitely grown. We experience it, well, myself personally experiences it at different times of the day. So sometimes first thing in the morning when Bliss is passing, sometimes last time in the evening when Lost Tribe is passing. What we've heard so far is that it's a very pleasant experience. So, everything from the temperature to the breeze to the experience of getting in and out, it has been great. What I hope to see personally as both a band leader and a masquerader is people make their movement towards different stages. As a child coming to town, I never went one place and stand up. Probably because I was annoying to my parents. And so they're like, keep them moving, get them tired, and let them sleep and go in the car, right? But I would love if people could come early during the day and start from South Key, which is literally what we do with the bands, you know, stop and watch a mass, walk up Charlotte Street, watch a mass, go to the Savannah, and go to the Soca Drome. It's something that I think, offers you the best of all worlds if you approach it from that perspective. However, if it's easier and you have your brood of family, children to be able to come and spend time there, there's so much for you to do in Soca Drome. So we have bouncy castles and kids zones and different areas. We have safe bathrooms for you. We have food areas for you as well, in addition to the village.
Castles. I got so excited.
He said for the children. Huh?
I mean, well, I'm a masquerader, so I didn't even know all this was happening. It was like, oh.
Next time you go in Soca Drome, look left and look right. You'll see
Okay.
everything right around
Got
you.
it.
All right, so the Soca Drome is on, and it's on for both Carnival Monday and Tuesday, or is it
No,
just
so
one
it's
day?
for Carnival Tuesday.
Tuesday
Yes.
only?
Yes.
All right, so on Carnival Tuesday, and it kicks off from as early as 6 a.m. What time does it start?
As early as 6:30. Now, of course, because of movement of bands, you really have to wait for your first band to get there. But generally speaking, it opens at 6:30 a.m. and guests are welcome at that time.
And what happens in between the bands?
So we have performances straight throughout. Those performances vary from stick fighting presentations to dance presentations. There's an opening dance presentation this year with the Soca Drome flag, and they were just telling me about it this morning. I now have information.
There's a Soca Drome
Soca
flag?
Drome flag,
Well, I
yeah.
say the same thing. When you sing 1,000 flags, Soca Drome say, nah, don't leave me out of that. I have to be the flag season too. You know, we have presentations from Tasia and a number of different performances. We also normally have inclusions of those who are the winning monarchs from that particular year. So as that progresses and people win on, so they will add them to the cast.
Wow.
And it's hosted by our friend Cecilia Salazar, who we love so much, and she makes us proud every single year. So thank you, Cecilia. And yeah, looking forward to see that.
What about what you just mentioned is a full all-star lineup,
Mm-hmm.
right? What about the contribution to attend the village? Is there a fee attached?
It's free.
There we go, it's free. I love it.
Spend your money on drinks with the vendors.
There we go.
Spend your money on the artisans, spend your money on the drinks, on the food, and all that good stuff that we have in store. Val, is there anything in particular you're looking forward to as we get into the Carnival season even deeper and further?
Honestly, same thing we were just speaking about, like this week of Carnival, no matter how tired you get as a mass man or a Carnival-involved person, something about people coming out of their house or people flying into the country, because it's kind of the same of both, because plenty of people you don't see for the whole year.
Yeah.
Seeing them this week, I think, is what I look forward to most. This week, anybody who's involved in Carnival, we're spending a lot of time in the distribution centers, and being able to meet masqueraders, see them when they receive their packages, is probably my biggest inspiration for the entire year.
Most definitely.
exciting.
Well, Val, thank you so much for joining us
I
this
appreciate
morning.
you. Thank you very
we
much.
definitely appreciate you waking up early and joining us
Thank
if you
you.
slept at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Because I feel like this whole week is one big blur of
It
not
is.
sleeping. So thank you very much for joining us, and all the best to you and to the band for this year. I know that you're going to go up in the competition
Thank
again
you
this
so
year evening
much,
for Band of the Year. So
Yeah.
all the best to you on the Lost Tribe, yeah?
Thanks.
No problem at all. Guys, we take a quick break and we come back with more. That was Valmiki Maraj, the band leader and creative lead for the Tribe group.
There we go.
We take a quick break and come back with more. Stay tuned.
We are the ground shaking, shaking.